Hey everybody, Skull Queen back with another video, and I'm really excited to share this one with you all. Today I'm doing a speed build of my entire villager neighborhood, and all in all this took me about 3 hours. This whole area contains 8 out of my 10 villager houses, and if you'd like to see how I made this creepy, spooky neighborhood, then stay tuned. Yeah, I might be popping in and out to give some commentary here and there, but for the most part, this is just going to be me building at warp speed, so enjoy! So the pathing is finally done, and I'm sure you noticed that did take me a while. I feel like whenever I do any kind of build, the pathing always takes the longest, but in my opinion, it always makes the biggest impact. Now moving on to the items, you're going to see the same trend continue with placing things down, picking it back up, taking a look to see what I like, placing something else down, and that's all part of Animal Crossing. It's a lot of trial and error and seeing what you like and seeing what looks good. I'm sure you can tell, but I had absolutely no plan ahead of time for what I wanted to do with this area, and it's such an awkward shape in a small size. I really did struggle with what items looked good and how to make it flow, but I do think it came together in the end, so please just continue bearing with me. Now for my peninsula, this is the one spot where I did have a predetermined idea of what I wanted to do going into this build. As you can see, I'm starting out with some terraforming, and my plan was to have a lighthouse up there, really to help balance out the height from the houses and the pillars on the right side. And you'll see in a little bit too, I do end up adding a windmill and a tree up there, and I really like how it looks, especially with the rotating lighthouse light at night. I think it does look really cool. I don't know if you guys were already aware, I had no idea, but I discovered that you can place items on top of the ruined pillars, and that was seriously a game changer for me because once I discovered that, I knew that I had to place something pretty much on top of every single one. And here you can see that I'm placing the glowing moss balloons and the forbidden altar where the gazebo was, and that's just because the gazebo was a little bit too tall and it was blocking the lighthouse more than what I wanted, so I ended up replacing that. And yeah, you'll see me placing some more finishing touches and lots of decorations on top of those ruined pillars. really did try to make the glowing moss boulder item work. I think I used it in 3 or 4 different spots, but for some reason it just wasn't vibing with me and I wasn't loving how it looked. So I don't think I end up using it anywhere in this build, but you'll see. Again, a bunch of trial and error. At this point, I needed a break, so I left to go eat, and now I'm back with a pocket full of fresh items. And since I have most of the big items placed, now it's more of the small details, some custom designs, some of the glowing moss, flowers, trees, things like that. And this is where everything comes to life, so this is my favorite part. I'm sure you can tell, but this area gave me the most trouble. I was trying to place a cave down there. I rearranged those items more times than I can count, and it's just a really small, awkward section. I couldn't decide if I wanted you to be able to walk through or to close it off, and yeah, this little area took me probably the longest, but I'm finally happy with how it turned out, and yes, you can still walk from side to side, which I'm happy with too. Finally, the time has come for our final walkthrough, and if you guys are still here, thank you so much. I am really proud of how this whole area turned out. I don't know why I waited so long to even start decorating this whole neighborhood, but I'm glad I did because the way it turned out is more than I ever could have imagined. The new castle items and the ruins items and the glowy moss, it's all just so good, and I had to include it all throughout the build. As you can see on this little walkway, it'll bring you back through to the neighborhood, and this whole area is a little bit hard to navigate, but luckily I'm not going to be having to go back and forth in here very often. It really is more for the aesthetic, and I just love how it turned out. Here we have Shino's yard, which is the best and biggest yard, of course. And back here we have Celia's house, which and then Blair's house in the back. And the terraforming and the decorations, I think it all just blends really well. And it's kind of fun to hop back and forth going into the neighborhood. Making our way back out through the front, we're gonna go to the left and then down the stairs. And if I'm being honest with myself, I would say the bottom section is my favorite. I really like the whole lighthouse and the forbidden altar and the glowing moss balloons. That whole area is really cool and creepy and dark to me, which is the whole vibe that I'm going for. The pillars are just so good, and the fact that we can place items on top is mind-blowing. And yeah, this area is just screaming for pictures. Making our way back here to the final section of this build, I really do love all the terraforming. I think that the wedding candles and the star clocks, the nova lights, the glowing moss items, they all just work so well together, especially along with the ruins items. And especially because this island is set at night, it really does emphasize like the dark, moody, kind of witchy vibe that I'm going for that I love. Over here to the lighthouse again, you can see that I placed, what is that called? The wedding chapel on the edge of the pier, just because the terraforming would not allow me to go 3 spaces wide over there. But you can see, I love how that lighthouse light looks. I'm obsessed with it. As we head to the very back here, I love how the moon is peeking through behind the arches as you approach it. I think that's really cool, and you can see that I did place the gazebo back here because it is more hidden and it's not going to be blocking the lighthouse like it was in the front. We have a suspicious cauldron with a little dog barking at it and a glowy moss balloon for some illumination. That is going to be it for the build, you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me. If you'd like to see future Animal Crossing videos, please be sure to like and subscribe. And I will be sharing with you my dream address. My actual dream address is finally going to be dropped pretty soon. I know it's been a long time coming, and then I can finally start a new island. So thank you guys so much again, and I'll see you later. Bye.